Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Please board quickly and safely. Our monorail will be departing momentarily. Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 41 of ResortLoop.com. I'm your host, Bob Collar, and if you're wondering why the audio is again bad, of course, every time you hear me start a show, you know that Tim's not here, so bear with the audio issues. Tim is actually at a baseball tournament. His son and their team have gone on to some tournament play, so very cool. We're wishing his son and the team all the best of luck. I'm sure they will do excellent. So real quick, before we start the show, I want to throw out some shout-outs that we have on the Twitter. Joshua Phelps, who goes by at SupermanJGP, said, discovered this podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I'm loving it. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Joshua. We also got... from Becca O, who goes by Princess Becca L on the Twitter, says trying out a new podcast for a quick Sunday workout. Are any of you guys listeners? She put that out to her followers. So thank you so much, Becca O. Or well, it's not Becca O. It's actually Becca with the hidden Mickey. My bad. I got to get some new glasses, apparently. And then finally on the Twitter, we got Dave Tupper, an old listener of ours, goes by at DS Tupper, says, check out a great podcast, check out a great Disney cruise review, tips and tricks by ResortLoop.com, show number 40 with, that was the one with Tim and his lovely wife, Dawn. And then finally not finally, because I got two of them here, real quick from our Facebook page, our buddy Gary Zarelli threw out, this one was going back to the DVC podcast. He says, love the DVC podcast. I'm a DVC member. Just wanted to let you know that way back, DVC would give you passes when you joined. So if you stayed at Old Key West in a 2-bedroom, you would get 4 park passes. That was the good old days. Of course, all good things must end. But man, we got our money's worth, says Gary. So, great show. Love the podcast. Keep up the great work. We're trying, Gary. We're trying. And then now, finally, we've got a new listener, Susan, who posted a comment on our comments page on our website, ResortLoop.com. Said, just started listening to you guys. Love the show. Checked out your newer podcast. Love the one on the DVC. All info on that is helpful. So thank you very much. That was, we got to give credit to Safari Mike and Sean Duffy for that, because those guys are the guys that know. We were just throwing it out there. We don't know all that much about DVC, and that's why we tried to find somebody that did. And we're glad that it was helpful. She goes on to say, I'm going back to listening to your older ones. And have to agree, the Grand Floridian is her number 3. This is the Resort Loop deluxe resorts that we did. Also Contemporaries number 2 and Polly being number 1. Mind you, I have never had the chance to actually stay at any of these, but one day I would definitely want the Polynesian. The Contemporary is a close number 2, and I think hubby might rate it as his number 1. We are heading back in September. Oh, have fun. And staying at Old Faithful Coronado Springs. Love Coronado Springs. That's a nice resort. Love the tropical feeling there. Keep up the good work. I am now a faithful listener. You definitely help fill the void while waiting for our trip. So, Susan, thanks so much. We appreciate all you guys out there. As always, you guys have been phenomenal with giving us your support. And whenever we throw a question out there, you guys are ready to jump in and give us all the answers that we are looking for and need. And also, Tim would hang me by my toes if I did not mention special shout out to some new listeners in, are you ready, Trinidad and Tobago. I don't even know where those are, but Trinidad and Tobago. And you hear giggling, that's my lovely wife. She has been kind enough to help me with this show because being a guy, we don't, a lot of us guys, and I know I'm going to take some heat for this, but a lot of us guys, we want to get on the thrill rides. We don't want to do the shows, but my wife has made me a convert of the shows. She has forced me into the shows, and I am loving going to the shows. So I'd like to welcome my wife. We're going to talk about the shows at Walt Disney World. So, Patty, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Thank you, Bob.
So here's what we're going to do. We were talking about this, and Disney has so many shows. They have so many shows out there. Everything from the big extravaganzas of your Phantasmics and Illuminations with the fireworks and all of that. It would take us just hours to do a show just on the shows that Disney provides. So what we wanted to do is we just wanted to hit the big shows that they have that have their own venues, that have live performers. So there are a lot of live performers out there. We got a chance to see on our last trip at Epcot. We got to see the guys from the UK. Remember that?
Oh, right, yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
That was fun. The comedy.
The comedy troupe.
Yeah.
Over at the UK. I ran over because the guy started yelling free beer. He was
right. It was a ruse.
Yeah, it was a ruse. I never did see any free beer. So, but anyway, you've got so many great performers there. You've got the small stage shows that they put on and change throughout the year, right in front of the castle. You've got all of the great shows from all around Epcot. You've got the great fireworks shows that are all around all the parks, well, except for Animal Kingdom, and of course all the parades.
Plenty of live entertainment for sure.
Right.
At Disney.
Right.
Just for any taste, really, just about anything that you would want.
Right.
They have in live performance.
And even at the resorts, you've got the orchestra usually over at the Grand Floridian, and you've got some bands that are playing all throughout. You've got Yeehaw Bob, who's over at Port Orleans Riverside, which I'm kicking myself. I really wanted to see Yeehaw Bob this last trip, but of course time is everything, and you run out pretty quick on a Disney trip. So,
well, I'm glad that I'm glad you focused on the shows that we're going to talk about today, because I think the ones that you picked have the biggest production value to them. And, to be honest, we didn't see many shows in the beginning of all the times we've been to Disney, which has been how many now?
We have now been to Walt Disney World 15 times.
Okay,
and
so
Disneyland once.
In the early years, we pretty much bypassed the shows, period.
Right. Well, and for our kids, having them sit through a 40-minute show, 40-minute show is tough. They wanted to go. They wanted to go do everything. They wanted to see everything. But now they're starting to settle down.
Right. But it's only been recently that we've really made time for the shows over and over again. And I think it was, like you said, because finally I said, we are going to see this show. I don't care how long we wait to get in. I don't care that it's 40 minutes, whatever the time frame. And I remember Bobby's eyes when I told him that we were going to go to Beauty and the Beast. And not only were we going to wait to get in, but once we got in, we were going to be there for, about 45 minutes.
Yeah. That was, it's tough to get him to sit through Beauty and the Beast as a movie.
But he liked it.
But he did. He really enjoyed it.
Yes.
It is, some of these, you've got to understand, some of these are Broadway show quality. If they would just expand them and spend just a little bit more money on them, they could be Broadway shows. They're certainly off-Broadway quality, some of these shows
right.
that we're going to talk
definitely.
about. Yeah. So we're going to go over the American Idol experience. I know that's a kind of a controversial show, but we're going to do that because that's you guys. That's the visitor experience, and it is a good show. We sat through one.
Right, it was very interactive. It was a lot of our audience participation, and I have to say, though, I have to give a plug to Youngstown, Ohio, though, because the voting system that they use at the American Idol experience is from Turning Technologies in Youngstown that started in the business incubator in downtown Youngstown. Yes, and it's the same. They use that system. I believe there's another game show. There's another game show that uses that system, and it's also being used in classrooms across the U.S. so the students in the classroom can participate in, answering questions. It looks like a TV remote, remember? And you just push whatever, and it tallies the score. But Yeah, so
Okay, remember,
kudos to the Youngstown Incubator and Turning Technologies.
remember we talked about this. You're not supposed to sound smarter than me. Tim and I have an
That
agreement.
could never happen.
He sounds smarter than me when I'm. That's the agreement. When I. That is amazing. I did not know that. You didn't point that out.
I didn't tell you that when we were there?
No.
Oh, I thought I did. Maybe I told
No.
Emily. I told somebody sitting next to me.
We probably-
Who knows who it was?
Yeah, we won't even get into the
But
times that my wife has mistaken other men for me.
Yeah,
but,
in the pool.
And then we won't even go there.
But I do remember the older lady that was sitting next to me, and she couldn't. She asked me who I was voting for. Like she
Oh,
couldn't
right.
decide. She goes, "Who are you voting
She
for?"
couldn't
And then
decide.
she couldn't get her. She didn't know what button to push on her
Right.
little
right.
device, and then she pushed the wrong one. She goes, "Oh, I didn't want to vote for them," but
That's right.
it was too late.
The American Idol experience, of course, that's over at the Disney Studios. It is a fun. I don't know as I would do it over and over again, but it's fun to do once, I think. You get to see some really talented people that, normally you're not going to see standing on stage in front of you. And some of these kids can sing.
Yeah, boy, they can.
Some of them can
And
sing.
young. Remember that the one girl was. She didn't win, but do you remember the one girl?
She
that
was
so
like
young?
16, I think, or something. She
she
was
was
right.
younger
She
than
was
that.
right that borderline age.
Yeah, it
I
was a fun
remember that.
show. Time consuming.
It
You
is
know,
time
consuming.
consuming.
If you're limited on time, let's put it this way: if you were limited on time and you bypassed the American Idol experience, you wouldn't have to go home and think, "Oh, geez, I missed some."
I really wish I
I
would
wish I would have done that.
Yeah.
If you get to do it, it's great. But if you miss it, it's not a heartbreaking loss.
No, I agree with that. But then, too, if it's a really hot day and you're looking for an escape, it's very well air conditioned.
Very, as opposed to the Beauty and the Beast.
As opposed to some of the other ones we're going to talk
Right.
about. Exactly. So, American Idol experience. Let's do a little quick rating of them. Scale of 1 to 10. What would you give American Idol experience?
Oh, probably a 6.
Yeah, I'd say about a 5. Because once you've seen it, you really don't. I don't think necessarily need to see it again.
No.
Although that's one of those that's going to change. That show is going to change every show because they're new. It's a new group of 3 people that are going to sing for you. So you know what? I'm going to bump it up. I will go with a 6 as well.
Well,
Because it
too,
is a different
and I'm sure your listeners will correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember hearing that an American Idol contestant or somebody was discovered or picked or came from that American Idol experience.
That's right. Why do I want to say it
yeah,
was Clay Aiken?
someone stood out, or
wanna-
someone who was on American Idol had done that.
Had done that. Because
And,
what happens with that is the winner of each day gets to audition. If they choose, they get to audition, and they get the kind of a front of the line.
Right.
They get
They go
a
to the front of
fast
the line.
pass, if
Yeah,
you will,
exactly.
for auditioning for the real American Idol. Whenever it comes out, they have kind of the golden ticket. Now, they don't get to automatically go to Hollywood. They still have to audition in whatever towns nearby. But that's not a bad deal for some of these young kids that really want to make this happen. You're on vacation. Why not take a chance?
Right.
So yeah, American Idol experience, kind of fun. I'd rate that as well as you, probably a 6.
Right. Should we describe it? I mean, is that sort of like
Oh yeah, we should have did that.
a
didn't we?
spoiler if we tell
See,
them what to
again,
expect when they go?
We talked about this. You're sorry.
I mean, for people that are planning, like to
Absolutely.
go.
No, absolutely.
It is
You're
a
right.
big theater. It's a big,
It's a
nice seating, nice theater seating when you go
Right.
inside.
It looks
Dark
like
air conditioning.
the Hollywood American Idol. They have the lights spinning around all over the place, the big American
Yeah.
Idol sign out there. And you can go and watch 3 people that have signed up and auditioned. I believe they have to audition as well.
Right. Yeah,
right?
there's sort of a whittling down done
Right.
from the beginning of the day. They start out with
Right.
and you get
And they have 3 different shows throughout the day.
and you get voted off.
And you get voted off, and then at the very end, it's the 3 winners. So there's 4 shows, and there's the 3 winners. I believe that's how that goes, and they get to have like a sing off, and then the winner of those. So the 3 winners of the day go up against each other at the end of the day, at the end of the night.
You know what they should do, though? I was a little bit disappointed in the venue. The building wasn't very spectacular.
No, it's a
not very-
revamp of
Yeah.
another ride that they.
I thought they
have
could
in
have done
there.
more with the outside to make it more like, I don't know, enticing, some light, some neon, maybe some inviting artwork. I don't know. I think they just slapped an American Idol oval logo on there and said,
I think you're right. But then again, I think they weren't too sure probably how this was going to be taken. So
right, and well, with the ratings with the
Right.
show, who knows
And
how long
that-
it'll be
right,
there.
Right, exactly. So, let's move on. While we're in the studios, let's go over. And again, I would say probably Hollywood Studios has the most shows. Probably, we'll
Yeah.
find out as we go through this. We'll find out. So the next show is, you mentioned it, Beauty and the Beast.
Don't miss it. Don't miss it. And we did for so many years. And when we finally did go, it was so much more than what I
Right.
expected. And you get to see a little blip of it. And I'm not a theater person. It's not like I go to tons of musicals every year. I see a few live productions, but and you see the little blip of it when you're in your hotel room. They do just the little
Right,
video.
right.
But it was. I thought it was spectacular.
Right.
I
I would
mean, it
compare
was-
that. I truly would compare that to an off-Broadway play.
Oh, absolutely.
We've been to
yeah.
a few off-Broadways in the Pittsburgh and Cleveland area, and it is if it were longer, if it were an hour and a half play,
Right.
it's short. It's again 35 to 40 minutes probably,
Right.
but it tells the story of Beauty and the Beast.
But I think that's the only thing that separates it from a Broadway production
Yes.
is the timing, because the costuming is just
Right.
unbelievable. I mean, it was beautiful and vibrant, and the buttons are shiny, and it
The
truly
Beast
takes you
costume
away.
is very believable. The Beast
Oh,
costume
yeah.
is very good.
Yeah, definitely.
And these performers really sing. They sing all the songs from the movie.
Right.
And it's them singing. It's not a soundtrack. It's not anything like that. So, and again, that show's going to change depending on who Belle is or who the Beast
Mm-hmm.
is. And the dancers are all phenomenal. But again, you touched on it. It's outside.
It's outside.
It's outside. So depending upon the weather, now it is covered, I believe. Some of it is covered, not all of it.
But I can guarantee you, it doesn't matter. It would not be as hot as sitting through the stunt show that we went.
Oh, lights, motors, action. We're
Lights,
going to get to
motors,
that.
action.
We're going to get to lights.
Okay, no,
motors,
I don't care how hot Beauty and the Beast would be. That venue has got to be the hottest one.
action. That was a bit warm. That was a
Yeah.
bit warm. But I think that was right around where it was 100 degrees in Orlando then
Yeah,
too.
that's
So
true.
so let's rate Beauty and the Beast then. Beauty and the Beast 1 to 10.
I would give it a 9, and the only reason I don't give it a 10 is because it's not inside in an air-conditioned theater. That's the only reason why.
It is good. It is good. It is good. I'm going to go with an 8 because of that, and just because it's shorter, and that's the only reason I would give it an 8. But I think it's phenomenal. I think that they have extremely talented people putting on that show. It's a really top-notch show.
And you know what's fun too? Our kids were a little bit older when we saw it. Is to watch the other little ones, the little girls, when Belle comes out.
Yeah.
And she's in her yellow dress, and the Beast transforms into the prince, and
Right.
it's like, oh my goodness,
And
they're
now
amazed. They're
right,
so
and
excited.
I can only imagine what these little girls are now thinking, because they see Gaston be mean in that show, and then you go over to the new Fantasyland, and Gaston's yucking it up with
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly.
So they're probably like, wait a minute, should I like this guy? Should I not like
Yeah.
Because you go over to Magic Kingdom in the new Fantasyland, and you like the guy because he's funny and very full of himself. He's the early Gaston before he gets mean and wants to go after the Beast. So I agree. I really like that show. Good show. Okay, the next show we're going to talk about, you just touched on, Lights, Motors, Action.
Oh, I didn't know that was on your list.
Extreme
I thought, okay.
Stunt Spectacular.
Right.
Or Stunt Show. I'm sorry. I'm mixing some up. There is one that's the Stunt Spectacular, but that one's different, and that also is in the studios. Now, Lights, Motors, Action is huge. The seating for that is massive. I don't know how many people that they can fit in that thing.
A lot.
But a lot.
A lot.
And when it's really hot and it's outside, obviously, because you got cars and motorcycles going all over the place, and then you got fire, you got pyrotechnics going off. It can get very hot, and it was very, very hot that day. Mm-hmm. Putting that aside, what did you think of the show?
Well, first of all, you'll have an idea what I thought of the show, and the first thing I talk about is how they move the people in and move the people out.
It is like a cattle call.
But it was very quick, because when the show was over, I'm going to call it a stadium, but
it is a stadium. It is a stadium.
We're full, and I'm thinking it's going to take us forever to get out of here, but it didn't. It was real quick.
Well, I think that's because of the cattle prods. I got a little. No, I'm kidding.
I guess it was okay. We bypassed that show for years, and I don't feel like I missed anything. But I'm sure Bobby may not feel that way, or you. I mean, and I'm not saying that it's a guy-girl thing, but I thought that it kind of was too slow. I don't think it was really that fast.
Right, because what Lights, Motors, Action is you've got they're showing you how they do motorcycle and automobile stunts. They're pretending like they're doing a show, a movie. They're shooting a movie, and you're invited to see how they're shooting this movie. So you're getting a behind-the-scenes look at how they're shooting this movie. So you get to see some stunt falls off of the top of a building and motorcycles going through a window and things like that. A lot of fire, a jet ski, all of that stuff. And it is kind of neat, but you're right. It does go a little bit slow.
It drags.
It does go a little bit slow. Now, there is a little interaction with one of the kids in the audience. They pick a kid in the audience. I thought that was cute, where they had the little kid with the remote control car. And
I thought they should have incorporated the Cars characters a little bit more. They had Lightning McQueen come out.
Right. Lightning McQueen comes out, and he's talking to Mater. You never see Mater.
I was going to say, why didn't they have a vehicle of Mater?
I don't know. It was,
but then it's not that kind of show.
Right.
I'm sure they didn't want to wrap it around that.
They don't want to do that. So I agree with you. Even though I'm a guy, I like cars, I like explosions. I'm an action movie kind of guy. I don't know. I've seen it. I don't think I necessarily ever have to see it again.
I know I don't have to see it again.
It's neat. It's very neat.
It is neat. I mean, like I said, I'm going to put it in with the American Idol experience. If you have time and you happen to make it, if you you walk in, you're like, oh, this is starting now. Let's go check it out. But to plan your day around it, I don't know that I would do that. Right. I don't. Think that's necessary.
So, okay, 1 to 10, what do you give Lights, Motors, Action?
5.
Ooh, wow. Because I'm a guy, I'm going to give it a 7. Because I'm a guy. And I like a lot of the James Bond stuff, and you see how they do the James Bond stuff. So from there, we're going to move over to another venue that is a stunt spectacular. And of course, I'm talking about the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. Again, another massive stadium. Mm-hmm. This one, at least, has a lot of shade, if you remember.
I do, yes, it does.
And it starts, we didn't do it this year. We went the last time we went down there, which was 2 years ago. And there is cover, so you do get shade, but it's still outside. There's no air conditioning there. And it starts with Indiana Jones going to get the idol, like he does in the first movie. Mm-hmm. It's a real actor. He runs up there. He gets the idol. The boulder, of course, chases him. All the little arrow darts are shooting at him. Things are coming up out of the floor, and he escapes unharmed. Then they open it up, and he comes out and explains to you how all of those stunts were done. And then they open up the stage. If you remember, it kind of opens up, and they do the scene with the airplane and the shooting with the Nazis and the shooting, and they show how they do the explosions and how they can reset the set. So it's a behind-the-scenes look at how they do stunts for movies, and in particular the Indiana Jones movies. Mm-hmm. It's not like the Indiana Jones ride that we were able to ride in Disneyland. And a lot of people think, get rid of the show and bring the ride.
Right. I agree. I agree with that.
I think it's, again, much like Lights, Motors, Action. Once you've seen it, you're like, okay, I've seen it.
Right. Right. I wasn't wowed by the Indiana Jones show.
Right. But, again, if you're enamored with Hollywood, those two shows, if you're one of these people that really loves Hollywood and the behind-the-scenes stuff, and I guess you'd be big into Entertainment Tonight and all of that, and you want to see how major motion pictures are made, and you're an action buff, they're definitely worth going to see. I think you have to go see them. Now, will you continue to go see them over and over again? You might go see them a second time, not in the same trip, but another time you go down. You might see them, but I'm not sure you're going to see them over and over again.
You know what? I think I would have liked Indiana Jones better if they would have done, and I know I keep going back to Beauty and the Beast, but they basically...
They don't sing in Indiana Jones.
They basically told a Beauty and the Beast story in a 35-minute show. I wouldn't mind going and seeing, a little condensed version, acting out scenes from Indiana Jones, pulling in like some of the famous scenes and doing, even if they were stunt scenes where all the characters are in place, not just Indiana Jones doing these stunts with no dialogue. I think, having some dialogue and acting out key scenes in the movie probably, for me, maybe would have been more entertaining.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to
disagree
only because I think what holds your attention with the Beauty and the Beast and the other one we're going to get to that I think is spectacular is the music. I think the music sets the tone for those. Are we boring you? Is that the... Apparently, this show is boring her.
Hey, anyway, I've worked all day.
Yes, you did. Thank you, dear. Anyway, I just think the music, there is no, you can't turn Indiana Jones into a musical. I just can't.
Really?
I can't see it.
I bet you could.
Well, I'm sure somebody could. I can't see it happening.
You're right.
But I think for what they are, what you're getting, I think they're not bad shows. I think all of these shows, I think, are definitely above a 5. But I'm just not sure you're going to go back over and over again. The other ones that I think, and we'll get to, I think you will go see those over and over again, which we have done.
Well, I would still give Indiana Jones a 7.
Yes, I agree. I give Indiana Jones a 7. I like, again, it's much like Lights, Motors, Action. It's action, it's adventure. You get to see how they do those stunts. I love the Indiana Jones movies, so it's kind of neat to see how they put that kind of stuff together. And again, it's it's not exactly how those stunts are done, but it's close.
And I love how you say if you're a movie buff, you'll enjoy it, and you're the biggest movie buff. We'll watch a movie with some obscure actor that I've never heard of in my life, and you're like, oh, that's so-and-so. Remember him? He was in Hawaii Five-0 in the first season and drove that taxi. Remember?
Remember that? You don't remember that? All right, moving on. Moving on, everyone, please. Continue moving on. The next one, again, we're staying in the studios. All of these so far have been in the Disney Hollywood studios. The next one's going to be, and this one's kind of fun, this one's a show, but not a show. Again, this one's a little bit similar to American Idol, but not quite American Idol. This one, my son was lucky enough to do before it became a constant thing at the studios, and that is the Jedi Training Academy.
Yes.
They have some of the coolest actors, cast members,
yes,
whatever you want to call them, doing that show. And it is so much fun for these kids to go and have a lightsaber battle with Darth Vader or Darth Maul. And they get to see the stormtroopers, and they're being trained by a Jedi Master. And the looks on their faces. My son right now, he has the picture that we took of him having a lightsaber battle with Darth Vader. hanging on his wall. And I think that's going with him wherever he goes.
Oh, absolutely.
That'll be hanging in his
Absolutely.
dorm when he goes to college.
But keep in mind, and you want to let your listeners know, or people that are maybe going there for the first time, this is a you're picked from the crowd type of thing.
That has changed. That was
What?
when yes, that has changed. You can sign up to do that now.
And I was just going to say they should let you sign up to do that.
You have to stand in line, and they're saying that you'll be able to potentially get a fast pass for that once the fast pass plus is
that's
up and running.
fantastic. That was the only drawback to that is that you had to be selected, but now you can sign up, and I'm sure it's a first come first serve type of thing. But
right when we first did it, you would be in the audience, and the Jedi Master would come out, and they would look around, and they'd pick a dozen kids.
They would pick whoever
had
the force in them.
Yes,
that's
right.
how they pick.
Yes, the force is strong with that one.
That's
we must
right.
Bring
And
that one up there. And I had my son on my shoulders, and he's flailing his arms, and I'm flailing my arms, and he was 5, I think, or 6, something
5,
like
I
that.
think.
And the Jedi Master looked down on us, and she said, "The two-headed alien there." Just send the top head up here.
Right.
And,
And what's funny, because on the trip up to the stage, I know Bobby was thinking, oh no, I can't fight Darth Vader. What are they doing? Because to him it was real.
It was real.
You know, he was like, oh boy.
He was a little guy, and it was, and I got to check that out the last time we were down there, and those kids are having so much fun.
Yeah.
doing it.
Well, I'm glad they expanded it.
And
that's good. That's a great show.
It is a great show. And here's a little caveat. Is that a right word? I always ask Tim. You're smarter than me. Anyway, during Star Wars weekends, adults can do it as well. How about that? No, I'm not going to do it. Will you stop looking at me like that? I'm not, unless I go by myself.
What is it that you always tell me? Just because they make something in spandex, does it mean you should wear something in spandex?
That's a whole other show, folks. That's a whole other show. Just because it can stretch that far
Doesn't mean you should wear
mean it should. Anyway, come on. Okay, we'll edit that out. That's going back to our John Panette show. Anyway,
You know what, too, about the Star Wars thing? Not
Yes.
only just the lightsaber battle is, you know, you have these little Star Wars things popping up all over Disney Studios.
Yes.
Little actors talking or acting out. Remember the one time we were walking through and there were just stormtroopers standing there and they had their
Right.
arms crossed and they were just waving people.
That was
You know,
during
that is so
Star
cool.
Wars weekends.
Yeah,
Star Wars
that's-
weekends
that's
is
really cool.
huge for that kind of stuff. And now that Disney now owns the rights to Star Wars and is going to be putting out a movie next year, hopefully, or in the next couple of years, you're probably going to see more of that. You're going to see an expanded Star Wars weekends. One of our listeners wants to see Star Wars weekends in the fall as well. Because right now it only happens once, so and you probably will see that kind of stuff. So now wrapping up over at the studios, and this show's going to go a lot faster, folks. Hang in there. We're going to get out of the studios eventually, but again, the studios have the most shows. We're going to finish up with what you see at night at Hollywood Studios, which is fantastic. You have Mickey, and it's Mickey's dream. Mickey is dreaming, and Maleficent, and she kind of takes over his dream and wants to turn it into bad things. She wants to give him nightmares. So now this show, real quick, Jedi Training Academy, 1 to 10.
Oh, I would say 9.
Yeah, I'm giving that one a 10. As a Star Wars geek, and the fact that looks on those kids' faces, I'm giving that a 10 because the actors are fantastic. When Darth Vader comes out with the stormtroopers, it takes your breath away. If you're a Star Wars fan, it's like so cool.
Well, the only reason I can't give it a 10 is because it isn't the training academy. It's not it's not an academy. It's
Okay,
I'm kidding.
you don't have to listen to her anymore. You don't have. She doesn't know everything.
It is really good. 9.5. Can it be a 10? I don't know. Is anything a 10?
I think it's a 10. I think it's a 10.
Okay, I'll go with the 10 too.
I've got one other 10, but anyway, Let's go with Fantasmic. Now, Fantasmic it's a dicey proposition because if you got little kids, we have seen a lot of little kids crying at Fantasmic.
And you know why I
it
think
can be kind of scary.
it is because the images. You know, you have the image of the dragon and
Right, the
there's
snake.
the snake. So there are some scary
Jafar.
images. But I tell you what, I think does it the most is the music. And you know, music can evoke mood, and the
Right,
mood that
right.
is set by the music in that production is ominous.
It
and
is.
I think that
It is.
kids, kids are intuitive and they can
They
feel
can
that.
feel the vibe going,
Exactly.
yeah,
They
yeah.
feel the vibe of that show. And I mean, everything comes out in the end and it's all great, but
Yeah, not to be a spoiler, but Mickey wins. I mean, it is Disney World, and you do get to see. It's one of the few times that you get to see all of the Disney princesses and princes together,
and the villains.
and a lot of the villains, and a lot of the top Disney characters. You get to see Mickey and Minnie and Pluto and Goofy and Donald and Daisy and Chip and Dale, and everybody's together. It's one of the few opportunities you get to see everybody together is that show. Good show. Love the fireworks. Love the reflections, the video on the water.
That's nice.
The water screens. Very cool. Without being too much of a spoiler, you also get to see some Pocahontas stuff, and there is a huge dragon when it's working. Sometimes the dragon's not working as well as it should.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
But when it is working, it's really cool. What would you give Fantasmic to finish out your day at the Hollywood Studios?
I would give it a 9. Because there's so much put into it. I have to say, I give it a 9 because there's so much put into it with all the different elements in the production, with the water screen and the costuming with the characters, and like you said, all the characters are brought together, and the story that's being told, and there's a lot of effort that goes into that. But for me, seeing it once for me would be fine. I know we've been back more than once, but I went because you guys wanted to go. If you had decided, let's pass, I'd be okay.
Right.
I didn't care one way or the other.
I got to tell you, I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's too busy. I think there's too much involved in it, and the scare factor for little kids. I think it's more of a 7. It's a huge production. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot going on there, and there are a lot of actors that are participating in that show. But I just think it's too busy. Fantasmic is too busy.
It is. I think you have to be around to not be scared. I think you'd have to be around 8.
Right. Yeah,
You know.
you get young kids in there, and it can
4 or
really,
5 years
can
old
be a little bit,
and younger.
yeah.
They're gonna.
And then you're talking at the end of the night when you're going to take these kids back,
Put 'em to bed.
their room, try and get them back to
Yeah.
get them to bed. So
that dragon's not going to come in our room.
all right, so that wraps up the Hollywood Studios. So a lot to do there, tons of stuff to do over at the studios. So we're going to now move over to actually Epcot, and I don't have this on my list, but again, you've got all the street performers at Epcot. You got some shows that they put on during certain times of the year. They've got the Christian music shows that they put on. They bring in some 70s and early 80s bands to come in.
Always a band in England.
Mickey
at night.
Dolenz was there. Yeah, you got the Off-Kilter guys that play over in England. You got the band in Canada. There's so much going on. But the one I want to focus on, and again, this one is much like the Jedi Training Academy, as it's very interactive, and it's a must-see at least once. It's a must-see and must-do. And that's going to be Turtle Talk with Crush.
Oh.
I know it's not a show per se, but it is a show.
Oh, it is.
Because
That's
you
a lot
get
of
the
fun.
little kids. Talk about, one extreme to the other. The little kids will be, some will be frightened of Fantasmic. They are going to love Turtle Talk with Crush.
And you know what? That show is so simple. I mean, it is a great, great show. And you're talking about a room with a screen that looks like you're looking into the ocean.
Into the ocean, yep.
I mean,
Yep. Now the technology is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, yeah. Exactly.
But it
yeah.
seems so
I'm just
simple.
talking about
Right.
walking in
Right.
the venue itself. It's not a
Right.
big stage production. It's not a bunch of glitz and a lot of staging and stuff like that and props and everything.
Right.
It's it's a room painted blue and you have this screen. But yeah, that's a fantastic show.
And that, much like the old Jedi Academy, your child gets picked. Crush can see your kids and will say, "Hey, that little boy, does anybody have a question for me?" And of course, all the kids raise their hand, and he says, "Hey, that little kid in the blue shirt with Goofy
Right.
on it."
And a lot of kids get picked. I mean, there's several
yeah.
ways to be involved. It's not like
Yeah.
just one or two kids
Probably
get
about
to
a
talk
half
to Crush.
dozen kids get to talk to
Yeah.
Crush.
Now there's a good. The odds are still with all the
Right.
people in there, but
Our
yeah.
daughter got to talk to Crush. Ask Crush how fast they swim. I think
Something
she asked
like
him
that.
something like that, and it was just it was so cool because there's your child talking to Crush from Finding Nemo, and that of course is in the Seas with Nemo and Friends.
She was thrilled.
And she was thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
She was beaming the rest of the day because she got to talk to Crush.
Yep.
So Turtle Talk
Don't
with
miss
Crush,
that. Don't miss Turtle Talk.
1 to 10.
A 9
Yeah, I'm giving that one a 10.
because
well,
of the
you know what?
experience.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a 9 only because if your kid doesn't get picked, it's definitely a 9. If your kid gets picked, it's a 10.
Then it's a 10.
It's a 10
yeah.
because that is so cool. They will want to watch Finding Nemo over and over and over again because they got to talk to Crush.
Right. And that's another thing. And you
very
and
cool.
Tim did a show earlier about the Disney movies that you really need. If it's your first time at Disney, the movies that you really need to watch before you go. So all this makes sense.
Right.
And you already did a show
Exactly.
about that. But
Right.
yeah, that's important.
So now that's going to, and again, like we've talked about, there's shows everywhere. There's shows downtown Disney. Of course, you got Lanuba over at downtown Disney. We have not participated in going to see that show. I hear great things about it.
Yeah, I do
It's
too.
just one of those things that, we're only there a week or
Only so
sometimes
much
a little
time
bit
and
less.
time and money to go around.
Well, that too. Right, exactly. So if we could stay longer and had the time and money, we probably would pick up on some of
sure.
that show and some other things. A lot of the restaurants have shows. But at any rate, let's move on to the final park, which is going to be Animal Kingdom. Now, Animal Kingdom has 2 of the best shows on Disney property at Walt Disney World. And we hear great things about Aladdin out in Disneyland, California, which we didn't get to see that. No. I wish we had because I hear it is better than anything they have
Wow.
at Walt Disney World. So next time we go, we'll have to check that out.
Okay.
But anyway, the 2 we're talking about at the Animal Kingdom, 2 of the best shows going is Festival of the Lion King
Very good show.
and Finding Nemo, the musical.
Even a better show.
I agree.
And I love The Lion King. My 3 top are, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and
Right.
Finding Nemo.
That show, the Festival of the Lion King, that show starts as soon as you get in there. Because
Yes.
they have prep people that are talking to you, getting you excited.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are the lions. Roar. Whenever we tell you roar, you roar. You guys are the
Right.
elephants. You go roar with your trunks. And they've got everybody sections. Everybody. It's participation by the audience, and it's a lot of fun. And you've got giant figures of Simba and Timon and Pumbaa and Zazu. And it's just a really, really well done show. You've got acrobats. You've got the girl that's dressed as a bird spinning around on a rope, which is
They do
how
such
they
a good
do
job.
that stuff.
They do such a good job with the
and
costuming.
the singing is unbelievable.
I mean, they're bringing animated characters, and I'm sure for people that have been to New York City and have seen Lion King on stage, they're really getting, I'm
Yeah.
talking from Ohio, go to Disney World, see Lion King. I'm sure it's a whole different
Right,
experience.
right.
But to take animated characters and make the costuming so believable that
Yes.
you really think that's Mufasa and you think that's Simba. And
Yeah.
You know.
And the singing. I just cannot express how phenomenal.
All the talent.
The talent is down there.
Where do they get all these
singing.
people? What's their talent pool?
I
mean,
don't
they
know.
just really have a lot of.
I don't know, but
big talent
they
down
are the guy who is the kind of like the Mufasa character of the show. Man, he can sing. He can belt it out. He's got such a deep voice, and he can really belt out some of those songs.
He sure can.
And you get all of the songs that you have in The Lion King, which are fantastic songs.
And Elton
Anyway,
John. I mean,
from Elton John.
Oh,
right.
absolutely. I mean, it's
Just a great show. It's a lot of fun because there's a lot of movement going on there, a lot of acrobatics.
and the seating is circular. It's not a
Right.
theater seating,
And it's inside.
typical. It's you sit in a circle, and it's a little bit. It's a little bit of a smaller venue. It's not really huge.
No, it's not a very big one.
No,
but it is. There is some air conditioning in there, but it seems like it's not ice cold.
no. No, I was
But it's
comfortable
not
in there.
bad. Yeah,
Whatever
it's-
was going on, it was
it's a way to
comfortable.
escape some of the heat at Animal Kingdom.
And as you're sitting there, the characters will come beside you. It's a they have a name for that, where the characters go into the what is that
Right,
called?
they come right out of the audience. Yeah,
Yeah,
right
and they walk up
past
the
you.
aisles, and the parade of animals come from behind, but they come up the aisles next to the audience.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Now
that's
you're
a good
sitting
show.
in bleacher seating. It's not the most comfortable seating, but the show is it's really good. It is. I can't say enough good things about Festival of the Lion King. It is such a
Yeah,
good show.
definitely don't miss it.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that one, and that's one of those that you can go back to time and time again.
See, that's what I'm saying when you were talking about the other shows. If it's like, okay, we have this much time left, do we go see Festival of the Lion King, or do we go see Indiana Jones?
Right.
Well, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
You know, if you have to choose between those two. Not that those others, the stunt show and Indiana, I mean, those are good shows.
Right.
I'm not trying to
Right.
say that they're not. But in comparison, if you have to choose,
Right.
they have to go down to the end of the list, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Well, and Tim and I have talked about this. You know, it's when we rated the deluxe resorts on the monorail. I mean,
There's no bad one.
It's like, okay, which piece of filet mignon is the best?
Exactly. Same thing with the shows.
Somebody's got to come in third.
Right. They're all good.
They're all
You're
very
going to be
good, right.
entertained at all of them. We're just nitpicking. Like, if
Right.
you have to choose,
Right.
if it's got to be,
Just,
you know.
Yeah, giving you an idea of
Yeah.
what to look for and what's a not miss. And I think Festival of the Lion King is a not miss. What's the rating on that one?
Oh, that's a 10.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's one of those. Again, that's an off-Broadway production. It is so good. And
What did
the
I give Beauty and the
talent
Beast?
is
I
so-
gave Beauty and the Beast a 10,
You
didn't I?
gave them a 9.
I'm going to retract that. That's a 10. That's a 10, too. Lion King and Beauty and the Beast are both 10s.
So then the final one, which I'm just going to go right out. This is a 10 for me. And the first time we went to see this, I didn't think I was going to like it at all. And we've been to this, I think,
And
3
who
times
made
now.
us go see it?
You did. I know. That's one.
We wouldn't
Anyway.
have, because I remember. The reason I say that is because I remember getting a little bit of like, oh, let's go do
there
this
was
instead, or do we
because-
really need? Oh, Mom.
And here's the thing, and this is why we're doing this show. Everybody says, we're going to a theme park, we're riding the rides. And there's so much more to going to Walt Disney World or Disneyland or any of the Disney parks than just riding rides. If you want to go ride rides, come up here to Cedar Point. They've got plenty of rides. Go to a Six Flags. Go to, Kings Islands. Go someplace that you're just going to ride rides all day
Right.
and stand on hot asphalt and not be entertained other than your back hurts and your neck hurts from riding all the rides at the end of the day.
Do you remember your mantra to the kids when we had to stop and watch a show? This is Mom's vacation too. We have to do what she wants to occasionally.
That is true. That is true. Anyway,
But they were glad. They were
okay.
thrilled
All right. Wait.
the end.
Hang on. We've gone off on a tangent. Here's the tangent alert. All right. There you go. So anyway, let's move back to Finding Nemo the musical. Now this thing is a massive indoor theater with spectacular air conditioning
And seating.
and seating. Yes.
Very, very nice seating. Theater type seating. You feel like you're in a,
Yeah. It is very nice. They are bench seats, but it's more comfortable, much more comfortable than the Lion King bleacher type seats.
Right, definitely.
But it is a great way to escape that Africa hot Animal Kingdom when it gets really hot there. What a great show. Starts out, it is actually on a big stage. The stage juts out into the audience. The characters come from all directions, up and down the aisles. And it is a puppetry show.
Right. And when we first went, when it started, my very first reaction, I'm like,
this is going to be
puppets?
This is going to be bad. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking at my watch. How long is this? And then it was boom. That thought
you
immediately.
Get sucked in.
Exactly.
And
it was
those
wonderful.
puppets are the real thing. It's the real show. It's the entire movie of, for the most part, of Finding Nemo compressed down to about, again, 35, 40 minutes.
Right. And again, I think, at first I thought they were taking the voice track off of the movie. But I don't think they are. It's the actors, and they sound just like Dory, and they sound just like Nemo. And I was really watching to see if, is this,
No, that's really them.
But yeah,
they
it's them.
Are really
it's amazing.
singing.
It is absolutely amazing.
All of the characters, all of the actors and actresses are spectacular. They sound just like the characters. Bruce sounds like Bruce the shark. Crush sounds like Crush the turtle. Who, by the way, that whoever that actor is that's portraying Crush, I think he's one of the best because he sings such a great song, and they've made songs for the show,
right? And they tell the whole story, the whole Finding Nemo
story
from beginning to end.
They have a giant pelican that comes off stage that.
And
It's
the jellyfish.
You see
the jellyfish are beautiful.
The jellyfish, the fish tank. When Nemo gets dropped into the fish tank, it is a Broadway show.
Yeah.
All it would take would be for that to be just a little bit longer, and it would be a Broadway show. It is spectacular.
It truly is. It truly is.
And I give that one a 10.
I give it a 10 too.
Because I will go see that every time we go down there. It's worth it.
That's definitely a do not miss.
When you're paying, upwards of $100 a ticket to go to see a Broadway play, and you can pay now almost $100 to go into a Disney theme park, it's worth it because you're getting two phenomenal shows at the Animal Kingdom. Those two shows alone are worth $100 to go into that place. Then you throw in all the rides you get to do and the Flights of Wonder show with the birds and just being in the Animal Kingdom. It's worth the price of admission.
And that's why it's so hard. It is so hard to go to Disney and do it all. You get the park hoppers and you're there for a week and you think, look how long it took us. We had to get all the riding out of our system, all the let's go see this, let's go do that.
Right.
Then when we were able to finally slow it down, it's like, okay, we don't have to ride Space Mountain now for the 10th time. We've done that enough. Okay, let's go see a show. And maybe the thinking should be carve time out for the show. Don't let the show be an afterthought.
Right.
Because there are some rides that are okay to miss too. I mean, I guess it's hard. It's just really hard to do everything.
It is very difficult to do everything. And we're going to do a show about that coming up real soon. Your first trip to Disney, the mistakes you're going to make, and the things you gotta really kind of rein in. Which one of those is, like you just said, you can't see everything.
Right.
Unless you're going down there and spending a month, you're not going to see everything. So don't be disappointed that you can't see everything.
Don't expect to.
Don't expect to.
Yeah, and then you're not disappointed. Just know that
Absolutely.
it cannot be done. It just really can't be done.
Absolutely. So I know we just kind of scratched the surface on the shows. There's so many shows to check out. So many talented, extremely talented people there. The street performers at the studios, the street performers at Epcot. The small shows that are put on at the resorts and just everywhere, all of the characters that you meet, the character meet and greets, those are shows. It is truly a spectacular place to see talented people. It really is. All within those 4 parks and the resorts themselves and downtown Disney, it is a great place to see some great talent. So don't not go see the shows. You got to go see the shows. So that'll wrap it up for us. That's all I have. Patty, thank you so much. I appreciate you getting me into the shows and, of course, helping me talk about these shows.
You're very welcome. It's always fun.
Thank you very much. So please don't forget to rate us on iTunes. Check us out on Facebook /Resort Loop. I am Resort Loop Bob on the Twitter. Tim is Resort Loop Tim on the Twitter. We're on Stitcher. Don't forget Stitcher. And check out our website. We do have that comments page now. And, oh, by the way, I have some pictures of our trip. I'm no photographer, so don't criticize too much. But you'll be able to see at least some of the pictures we took. So that'll do it for us. Thank you for listening to episode 41. And ResortLoop.com, your gateway to the magic. See you, everybody.